points in all the towns in all the world.
I decided a long time ago, but the one thing that would have made Humphrey Bogart even cooler would have been if he could leap 12 feet in the air like a leopard pouncing on a guinea pig and survive a fall down several stories through a plate glass window.
The stuff that dreams are made of.
Casablanca would have been a lot less boring, I can tell you that. Thankfully, Tom Francis had the same idea and made Gunpoint. We've all wanted to be a noir icon at one time or another. I even bought a fedora, but I look like a twat. Richard Conway pulls it off much better than I did. He's a freelance private investigator, which, unlike me, doesn't mean he's unemployed. Like me, he possesses a sarcastic wit that no one seems to appreciate. Basically, what I'm saying is that I'm Richard Conway. Only, unlike me, he can survive crashing through his apartment window just in time to witness a cold-blooded murder. This leaves him little choice but to clear his own name, and then set out after the real culprit. This being a homage to noir, the story quickly becomes more convoluted than a bag full of kitten entrails. It's a dense tangle of conspiracies, double crosses, and cover-ups. It never gets confusing though, and that's coming from someone who's really stupid. The story plays out in text messages, so just like real life, you can choose a witheringly sarcastic response that makes people never talk to you again. It also lets you dictate where the story goes, as you have to choose who to work for. Identifying the real bad guy is harder than real life, where they're usually already kicking your head in. Gunpoint doesn't possess the most compelling or coherent story in the world, something the game readily acknowledges, but it's delivered with enough wit and pace to keep you hooked until it's time to go to the job centre. The gameplay is the real star. It's all ingeniously simple, utterly unique, and incredibly entertaining. Basically the opposite of Made in Chelsea. Conway's missions commonly boil down to infiltrating a building to hack a terminal and perv on his target's internet history. These start out as 3-floor blocks of flats with the odd guard and a camera, and quickly escalate to towering complexes kitted out like the Death Star with security doors, heavily armoured sentries, and collapsible floor panels. The game's party trick is to turn these potentially intimidating environments into glorious playgrounds of confusion and destruction. A James Bond's back room's worth of tools become available to Conway as the game progresses, but the most vital piece of gear is his crosslink device. Hastily explained away as something invented by the kind of teenage nihilists you see hanging around outside Iceland, the crosslink allows Conway to hack every piece of electronics inside the building. So a motion sensor can be made to activate a light switch, which in turn triggers a guard's sidearm and makes him shoot his mate in the face. That excuse won't hold up in court. Trust me. Obstacles quickly become allies as you plot your way to the goal. When you combine the crosslink with the aforementioned 12-foot jump trousers, as well as other upgrades like silent landings, a pistol, or the ability to kick doors off their hinges, you're basically more powerful than Banana Man after a visit to the co-op fresh food section. Gunpoint lends you the blissful freedom to experiment, like that time I grew a fingernail on my penis. Unlike many puzzle games, like Countdown, there's no definitive solution to any level. Guards can be lured away by linking a CCTV camera to a lift, allowing you to sneak past unseen. Or you could simply switch off the light, drop down behind the guard in the darkness, and punch the crap out of him. Basically, the guards are proper stupid. A non-violent approach is trickier, but any method provides its own challenges. Gunpoint encourages experimentation by being more forgiving than that dog I tried to drown in the canal but found its way home. If you're rubbish and something goes wrong, you can immediately load an autosave from 5 seconds before and change tactics. Honestly, it's one of the most joyful games I've ever played, and I'm a miserable bastard. When Conway leaps onto a guard's back, I feel like a big cat taking down prey. A guard's startled reaction when he tries to fire his pistol and it calls a lift instead never fails to be hilarious. Tossing a guard through a window and falling 6 floors with him so that he spatters underneath you like a blood-filled pillow is... well, it's kind of gross, but immensely satisfying. I don't mean to say that the game isn't challenging. Levels soon introduce multiple colour-coded security networks. If you're colourblind, you'd better stick with film noir. At this point, obstacles can only be hacked once Conway has accessed their dedicated circuit. Even then, obstacles can only be linked on the same network, so a yellow camera can only activate a yellow door. If you're as stupid as me, you'll often be left scratching your head, but experimenting with different solutions is so stupidly fun that it's never frustrating. A special mention has to be given to the excellent soundtrack. It's skillfully unobtrusive, infiltrating quiet moments of pondering with a sort of laid-back jazz you'd expect to hear in a jumped-up ponce hole in Dalston. In other words, it's perfect. Basically, go out and buy Gunpoint. Well, stay in and buy it because it's downloading on your PC. Just buy it or I'll cut you.